Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I talk about all kinds of things here which I hope you'll find interesting and exciting. Mostly I talk about reading, writing, books, voice. For those of you who don't know, I used to be an opera singer, and so I'm still very fascinated about voice. I still teach it from time to time, and also voice translates into the kind of voice we use when we write as well, so very interested in that, and so I talk about those kinds of things. So today I want to talk to you about something different. I want to talk to you about the protagonist in my latest novel. Now, my latest novel is called Forever and Ever Love, and this is what it looks like. Oh, the lights are doing its thing. I hope you can see it. Yeah, like that. Like that. It was published last month, it was published on the 22nd of February 2022. For a reason, I thought it would be fabulous. What a lovely date to be publishing your book. So that's when it was published. And I thought it might be quite good to share with you my thoughts about the protagonist in a different way. I want to talk about the protagonist's sun sign. Now you might think, what? Well, here's the thing. When I used to study drama years ago at university, I had this crazy professor who used to say things like, well, if you choose the sun sign for your character, then it gives even more depth to the character. And I thought, what? I don't believe that, but yes, she was right. Ever since that time, whenever I sang a role or played a character, whatever, I used to choose the sun sign for that character, because what I found is that it does inform, to an extent, that person's actions, their behaviors, and how they communicate with other people. So I don't know if you'll agree with me. I mean, I'm talking broad, okay? I'm not an astrologer. I'm just very interested in this subject. So, this protagonist started off in The Healing Touch, which was the first book in the series. And this is it, The Healing Touch, if you don't know it. Again, the lights are doing its thing, so there you are. That's The Healing Touch. I originally wrote The Healing Touch and published it because my dear friend Stephen died and people wanted to know what happened. So it was based on the reality of when he died. But it was so sad that I added a fictional couple to the book. And then people started saying to me, so what happened to the couple? What happened to their love life? And I thought, oh, okay, I never intended to write a series, but there you are. So the Love Beyond Reason series was born, and the reason it's called Love Beyond Reason is because in the show where I met Stephen, he sang a song called Love Beyond Reason, and since this series is going to be about his life, that's the series name, so Love Beyond Reason. Anyway, so as I said, many readers then started asking me about the protagonists, not the protagonists, but the love story protagonists, let's put it that way. And so I thought, okay, because it's lovely when readers ask you about characters and they want to know, because that shows you they're interested and they will read the next book you write, right? So it's a good idea when your readers tell you what they want, and then you go ahead and give them what they want and what they've asked for. So that's how Forever and Ever Love came about. So Forever and Ever Love is just about those two people. So it's nothing to do with my friend's death, okay? He's referred to in the book, obviously, but there's nothing about him in this book. It's just about these two characters. And what was lovely, and if you write yourself, you'll probably know this, characters start revealing themselves and telling you about themselves. And so it was such a privilege and an honor and a joy to discover more about these two people whom I thought I knew quite well from writing The Healing Touch, and then I discovered lots more. So I will tell you briefly, if you don't know the book or don't know anything about it, it's a reincarnation story. And so we meet them. They may have incarnated many, many times, we don't know, but we know in this book, Forever and Ever Love, we follow 3 of their lifetimes together. So the very first time they met each other was in ancient Egypt, where they fell in love for real, forever. But they were thwarted in their love and swore that they will find each other again. And so they do. They find each other again in Venice in 1746. But the same thing happened. They fell deeply in love again, and again wasn't able to be together, and again swore that they would find each other and be together. And so the story is now set in the present, in London, in the present day. And that's the question. Are they going to find each other? Are they going to be able to be together? Or is there something that's going to stop them again from being together? And of course, there are all kinds of obstacles. One of my alpha listeners, because when I write the books, I write them per chapter, and then my alpha listeners and readers get those chapters first. And she said, wow, there's so many twists and turns she didn't see coming. Well, neither did I, and that was wonderful. But I'm only telling you this little bit of background because I want to tell you about the male protagonist sun sign. Now, I've made a few notes, so I'm going to click onto my page where I've made the notes. So if I look away, that's where I'm looking, okay? So I'm just looking, so I don't want to miss anything that I've written for him. So the male protagonist's name is Angelo, and he's a Scorpio. So a lot of us have preconceived ideas, I think, about Scorpio males in particular. But Angelo is a little bit like a typical male Scorpio that you would think. He's tall, dark and handsome. He's intense, and that means only one thing. Yes, he's passionate, and he's magnetic and mysterious and many-layered, highly intelligent, creative, and emotionally deep and intuitive. And he's got that spookily psychic thing that a lot of people who are born under the sign of Scorpio has. And for those of you who don't know anything about Scorpios or sun signs in general, Scorpio is a fixed water sign. It's ruled by Pluto. We each have a planet that rules us, right? But Scorpio's ancient ruler was Mars, the god of war, and that means their character can be quite fiery. So sometimes you see images that depicts the nature of Scorpio, and it's often a tap with water flowing out, but instead of water, it's fire that comes out. And so I think that's quite an apt symbol for Scorpio's nature. They are natural warriors, and so they're not to be messed with. I think a lot of people know that. And so being a fixed sign, it means they can be quite stubborn and strong-willed, and they're fiercely independent, and they're very, very sensitive and can become upset quite easily. And I think that sensitive nature that they have can account for their reputation for being possessive and jealous and revengeful. But that, of course, might not be true for all of them, because I think it depends also on their awareness. In my experience anyway, I know quite a lot of Scorpios, and I myself am Scorpio rising, so I get it quite a lot. But please understand that this is a vastly generalized thing, okay? Everybody is very individual, and it depends on many planetary placements within your natal chart that shows you who you are, okay? And Scorpios in particular are one-offs. They really are. They're almost nothing like the next Scorpio, except they have this depth that you feel almost when you meet one, and intensity. Right, so where was I? Okay, and they're very funny. They have a great sense of humor usually. And then I discovered something when I Googled them that I did not know, they're also a rare zodiac sign. So only about, according to Google of course, only about 9.6% of the world's population are born under the sun sign of Scorpio. So if you're a Scorpio, you're rare, I mean, you're a one-off anyway, but yeah, you're a rare one-off. So to get back to Angelo. So Angelo, our hero, is an alpha male. A lot of Scorpio males are alpha males. He has his own business and he's very much revered within his community. And weirdly, you might already know this, Scorpios often experience heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak. And so when we first meet Angelo in The Healing Touch, he is at the end of one of such deep heartbreaks. He'd had a very serious relationship with somebody for 8 years and she broke his heart. And so yes, he was very sad and didn't really want to, be with other women. And so he wasn't for a long time. But Scorpios are extremely sensual and sexual. And Angelo had a yearning to have a close, intimate sexual relationship with someone who was compatible to him, although not necessarily a serious relationship at that stage. And so it causes him to manifest Isabelle, who is the female protagonist in the books. And eventually, even though he didn't think he would, he falls in love with her and he experiences her in a completely different way than his ex. So he's very in love with her. And so also I have to say Scorpios are very picky about who they allow into their lives. And because of this pickiness, I'm not sure they know they do it. They put their partners through tests often. So people who are involved with Scorpios probably know what I'm talking about. I don't think they know they're doing it, but they do. And so Isabelle passes Angelo's tests. And so we only experience their amazing love story. And that's just as well, really, because this couple, they tested in ways that many of us never will be. And so it's amazing that their bond throughout all of this just goes stronger and stronger and stronger. Right? So in forever and ever love, let me get my words out. Their love only grows much stronger, and we explore the depth of love, not only with them but for everybody, and we look at the lengths we would go through to have love in our lives. I'm talking about romantic love of course. So it's a good question, isn't it? What lengths will our hearts go to be together with somebody that we truly love? So I hope I've managed to pique your interest in Angelo a little bit, or enough so that you would like to meet him in Forever and Ever Love, or maybe even in The Healing Touch. I'll put some links below and the blurb so that you can read that as well. And I will also be reading some chapters from Forever and Ever Love here soon, like I've done with some of my other books. If you scroll through the videos, you'll find that I've done that before with other books as well. So in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video or you enjoyed it, please like it. Click the thingy that says you liked it, because that tells me the kind of content that you prefer. And if you haven't already, I would be delighted if you'd subscribe to the channel, because then that tells YouTube you like it, and then it helps the channel to grow. So thank you so much for watching and for spending time with me. Until next time.